Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Time Added On. My name is Alfredo Fumaças.
And I'm Cristiano Oliveira.
Every episode, 5 topics, 2 minutes each. Everything that's hot in Benfica land. Cristiano.
Wasabi.
Happy New Year.
Same to you, my friend. Glad to be back.
First topic that we have, this weekend's game, Benfica game at Guimarães, and the atmosphere in the stadium. Chairs being thrown around, the pyros being thrown on the field. Cristiano, what do you make of this?
Man, anytime Benfica travels up north, things get interesting, and especially when Benfica went to Guimarães and faced the White Angels. Isso é Anjos Brancos, para quem não entende inglês. Things get a little bit difficult, and unfortunately this weekend you got a couple of stoppages in the game because of flares and seats thrown into the field. And, you know, look, from a crazy perspective of things, it brings a totally different atmosphere to the stadium. You can feel the tension, you feel the intensity, but at the same time, man, we're in 2020 nowadays, ladies and gentlemen, and you want to see these people be a little bit more sportsmanship towards one another. Yeah, look,
I'm all for the pyrotechnics and the atmosphere that it adds at the stadium, right? When you start throwing them on the pitch and it creates stoppages and creates interruption in a play, and it really diminishes the flow of the spectacle of the game. That's where people are there. Certainly, that's what I have a problem with. But taking it in another different direction and understanding how Benfica fans are treated when we go outside of the Estádio da Luz. We've seen situations where kids get cachecóis or scarves taken away. They're told to put on their jackets over their jerseys, or they throw their jerseys in the trash bin before they get in the stadium. Considering this, when you go outdoors, you should always be on your best behavior. Yes, cheer for the team, support the team, but be on your best behavior, be respectful, be smart.
I couldn't agree with you more. But look, I think the main topic here is that when you get chairs thrown into the pitch, you get the flares thrown into the... Look, you're not just affecting the game at the moment, the situation that's going on the pitch, but you're affecting the clubs and the wallet, because now what's going to happen is Benfica's going to get fined, and, you know, at some point things are going to get hectic, and you might be forced to have to play a game at the side to lose with the you know, closed doors to the fans and stuff. You don't want those things to happen. So as a Benfiquista, I surely hope that they find a way to wrap that up and, you know, and act as they're just soccer fans, opposed to all that other hooliganism or whatever it's called around it. But moving on, because that's what this show is about. It's 5 topics. Moving on, topic number 2. We had a tremendous addition to this football club in Julian Weigl from Borussia Dortmund. Alfredo, talk to us about this new addition.
This was something that already spoke at length in our Benfica podcast, this week's Benfica podcast. Certainly a player of Weigl's caliber is not something that we have seen recently for Benfica, right? I think that perhaps Aymar or Saviola, even albeit them already being a little long in the tooth, I mean, we're talking about a 24-year-old player, correct, if I'm not mistaken, and of a very good caliber. International?
Yeah, the only additions that come close, you're looking at a Douglas from Barcelona, Corche from Sevilla. Those are the only ones that match. You know, that could even be compared.
Right. But, you know, my biggest thing is that hopefully this signals Benfica's intention to bring in the level caliber players to mix in with the youth that they're forming at the Seixal.
Yeah, man, and look, and when you're able to get a player like Julian Weigl, it shows the world, it shows the rest of the football world that Benfica is capable of special things. And maybe this opens up the door for other players throughout European football that have had their doors closed at their clubs, but they see how big and how ginormous Benfica is, and joining a club of that magnitude, coming to a beautiful city like Lisboa, playing in Champions League football. Again, this could be one of those moments that you look back now, 5 years from now, and say Julian Weigl was the beginning of something special at this club, because we've mentioned on our own podcast, on every podcast that we've had the privilege of participating in. We've seen other podcasts join in. We've seen plenty of Benfiquistas around the world say, why can't Benfica make the Champions League run that Ajax did last year? And this might be the beginning of that, along with our diamonds from the Seixal, with these special players from other organizations. Benfica has big things cooking, and hopefully this is only the beginning. Yeah,
20 million contract till 2024, rescission clause of 100 million. Going in the opposite direction, however, Raul de Tomás. Big signing by Benfica this early in the season from Real Madrid. Some say that we're paying for that God-eye transgression or what. But we sold him to Espanyol for 22 million. We bought him for 20 million. Certainly there was a lot of hope put in Raul Tomás to be the one killer assassin striker that we needed in front of goal, but certainly hasn't turned out.
Look, he came in with a lot of hype and a lot of pressure on him. 20 million for a 24-year-old, having played at Rayo Vallecano last year. We knew Benfica, and wearing a Benfica shirt wasn't easy for anyone, and let alone a player with that type of price tag at a club like Benfica. And unfortunately, for some reason or another, he wasn't able to step up and live up to all the hype. Seferovic started the season as the main guy up top, and then Raul Tomás was number 2 guy playing alongside him. Unfortunately, for one reason or another, couldn't find things, couldn't click with his striker partner. And Vinicius, man, he jumped off the bench and he's been lights out ever since then. So I think Benfica, at the end of the day, was very wise to cut their losses right now, especially if they can make an additional 2 million, because for a player that scored 3 goals in 17 games for the club, I don't think it's a bad piece of business at the end of the day.
No, it definitely isn't a bad piece of business when you could get some of that money back. But, my own personal opinion, and Cristiano is a little bit different, is that a talented guy, couldn't adapt to the system to start, struggled, couldn't find the back of the net, lost some of his confidence. Then the system was changed to a one static forward, and Vinicius, he lost some space, and now Benfica ran into this opportunity of being able to deal him, and they just grabbed it, I guess. But we have to trust in what Lage thinks and what he's seen from Raul Tomás to see whether or not he could add to this team.
Look, I mentioned on the Benfica podcast at the beginning of the season when we first acquired him, when you're paying 20 million euros for a club like Benfica for a 24-year-old. He has to be the first name on the sheet each week, and he wasn't. And so can't blame Benfica for going ahead and cutting their losses and letting them go to Espanyol. Wish them good luck, but right now it's about who's on the team, and I'm worried about those guys. Catch you next time, Raul Tomás. Moving on to new and interesting things. Benfica last week released their new Benfica Netflix, their subscription to their own channel on a platform, on an app that you can subscribe to, which is called Benfica Play. I'm afraid I know you've subscribed.
I've subscribed, yeah.
It's $20 for members, $30 for non-members. Tell us about your first experiences with the platform.
Look, my first experience is that the content, they're not there in terms of volume of content that they should have on a platform like that. It was very easy and quick to go through most of the content that they had there. In terms of the quality, very well shot in terms of video editing, very good quality in terms of production factor.
They do a good job.
I thoroughly enjoyed the one thing with Vinicius, which was an interview they had with him. I also enjoyed an interview that they had with João Felix. There's a couple other small segments there that show a little bit of the background, the day that the team opened up to the training session at Stade Luge on New Year's Day. They had a little segment on that. So far, I'm enjoying it, and look, for $20 a year, you really can't go wrong.
Two Big Macs and a drink.
That's right, 2 Big Macs and a drink if you eat those types of things. Cristiano, have you had a chance to experience what you're looking for? What are you looking for?
As I told you when the possibility of this was first announced, I'm a huge fan of the behind the scene stuff, and so as you mentioned, they're in the early stages. But the stuff that they put out, the production's been amazing. Our good friend João Ribeiro, I'm pretty sure he's done a lot of work in that. They know how to put out content. Unfortunately, it's very light as of now, but I'm a firm believer that as we go on, as we move on, as we go forward here, that the content will start being with more regularity, and a lot more shows and a lot more content will be available. The good news is also we're available. You know what I mean? Hit us up. We're available. We create some great content. We got the Fayot over here to produce the stuff for us. Bruno. Alfredo's available, coming in, looking sexy with his Armani glasses. I'm good with the gel. The gel that Raul Tomás will not be buying in Lisbon, I will buy it for myself. So, look, win-win situation for everybody.
That's right. Our last topic is certainly we couldn't start this year without looking back at an extremely special year of 2019 that Benfica had. And I guess I'll go through some of my moments, right? I think that one is obviously the appointment of Bruno Lage and then the subsequent run that we went on afterwards. Getting the championship after being, I'm sorry if I'm taking some of them away from you.
You're good.
Getting the championship after being 7 points down.
Bro, you can only pick one moment, man. You're gonna run down the year. I mean, look, Alfredo, you're cheating. Ahead. You're cheating. What's your
right.
top 2019 moment?
Top, it's definitely Bruno Lage's appointment, but I have more.
Not Rui Vitória's firing.
Definitely not Rui Vitória's firing.
Well, I mean,
it could have gone either way, right?
It's 50-50.
They're connected.
Yeah. Look, I think when you look back at 2019, favorite moment has to be lifting the 38. Lifting the 38 has to be, 37. 38 is 2020. Look, I got 2020 vision. I'm seeing ahead. But lifting, I think everything else that happened is like the cherry on top. But I think lifting the 37, having a big party once again in Lisboa, after being down 7 points, once Bruno Lage was appointed head coach of the club. I think there's so many different moments that you could point to, but I think the one that takes the cake definitely has to be lifting the 37.
Also, outside of the 37, Benfica's ICC participation, and regardless of whether they won that or not, it's always good to have Benfica on this side of the pond and be close to the team. And then now it's two years in a row, so we're kind of getting spoiled. But it was great traveling and meeting the fans.
Yeah, meeting some
and
of
enjoying the team. Certainly another highlight for me.
Yeah, it's tremendous year, and we just hope to add on to 2020, to the tremendous start that we've had that we've had Bruno Lage at Benfica, 34 games, 32 victories. I think it's been absolutely lights out. Hopefully we add to that, and come this time next year,
I thought you were going to say another highlight for you was the announcement of Bruno Lage's wife being pregnant.
That was definitely on the list of things, but we had to pick one, and I think the lift in the 37 was my top one.
Yeah. So that's all we have time for. My name is Alfredo Fumaças.
And I'm Cristiano Oliveira.
Don't forget to check out this project at benficaindependent.com. You could follow us right down here. And don't forget to interact with us, consume it, share it. And that's all we got. Thanks a lot. We'll see you next time.
See you next time.